Almost every video, someone comments, I'm trying to grow my hair out, but it never works. I'm just gonna say, your hair isn't the problem. Most of you are not failing because your hair can't grow. You're failing because of the mistakes you're making on a daily basis. Here are 12 things you're doing that are stopping you from growing your hair. Number 1. The first reason you may not be seeing long hair is that you're trimming too much or not trimming at all. This might sound contradictory, but both can stop you from reaching your goal. Some people cut their hair too often, thinking it makes it grow faster, which is a myth. Hair does not grow from the ends, it grows from the root. So constant trimming will not speed up growth. On the other hand, skipping trims altogether leads to split ends that travel up the hair shaft, causing more damage and making you lose length in the long run. I recommend trimming just enough to keep the ends healthy without overdoing it. My recommendation would be to get a minor trimming every 6 to 8 weeks. Number 2. Now this is something a lot of people overlook. Texturizing. You know when a barber uses thinning shears or a razor to take out bulk and soften the ends? It feels light and breezy afterward, right? But what you don't realize is that too much texturizing actually weakens your ends. It makes them thinner, and thinner ends are more likely to break off. If your hair is already fine or medium in thickness, this kind of cutting can completely ruin your chances of achieving long, thick-looking hair. Instead, you want your ends to stay blunt and strong. That might make your hair feel a little heavier, but it is the price you pay for length. Number 3. Honestly, one of the biggest things holding people back is not even their haircut. It is their mindset. Long hair takes time. We're talking months and even years of steady growth. But most people get impatient, feel like nothing is happening, and then make a quick decision to cut it or change styles. That impatience resets all their progress. If you really want length, you've got to treat it like a long-term goal, not something that happens overnight. Stay consistent, don't give up too soon, and let your hair do its thing. Number 4. Another roadblock is neglecting moisture and protection. Long hair requires extra care because the ends are the oldest part of your hair. If your hair is shoulder length, the ends could already be 2 or 3 years old. Imagine how much damage they've seen in that time. Without moisture from conditioners, oils, or leave-ins, they dry out, split, and break off. Add to that friction from rough pillowcases, tight hairstyles, or even wearing your hair down in windy weather, and your ends won't survive long enough for you to get length. Switching to satin pillowcases, using protective hairstyles, and keeping your hair moisturized can help your ends hold on. Number 5. Another big factor that stops your hair from getting long is constant breakage. You might think your hair isn't growing, but in reality, it is growing from the root. It is just breaking off from the ends just as fast. Breakage usually comes from rough handling, heat styling, tight hairstyles, or even something as small as sleeping on a rough pillowcase. When your ends keep snapping off, you will never see length, no matter how fast your hair grows. What makes it worse is that many people don't even notice breakage until the ends look thinner and weaker compared to the rest of the hair. Long hair requires protecting those ends like they're gold because they are the oldest and most fragile part of your hair. Number 6. Another thing that really gets in the way is not paying attention to your hair growth patterns. Everyone has cowlicks, swirls, or sections of hair that just don't grow in the same direction as the rest. If you're fighting against them instead of working with them, your hairstyle will always look uneven or messy. And eventually, you get frustrated and you cut it out. For example, if you've got a stubborn swirl at the crown and you keep trying to slick your hair flat, it will pop right back up. The smarter move is to cut and style your hair in a way that uses those natural growth patterns to your advantage, instead of trying to force them into submission. Number 7. Styling choice can stop your length. The obsession you may have with maintaining sharp, polished edges. Some people go to the barbershop most often just to keep their ends looking crisp, and while it may look neat, the constant trimming cancels out all the growth happening at the roots. Long hair does not have to look razor sharp at the ends to be healthy. Allowing a little natural taper as your hair grows is completely fine, as long as you're not dealing with excessive split ends. Number 8. Heat styling is another silent enemy. Curling irons, straighteners, and blow dryers weaken your strands by stripping moisture and damaging the cuticle layer. The more heat you use, the weaker your hair becomes, leading to dryness, breakage, and split ends. Many people underestimate how damaging frequent styling can be, and then wonder why their hair never grows past their shoulders. Even if you use heat protectants, repeated heat exposure still damages your hair. Long hair requires patience and a break from constant heat styling to keep it strong enough to survive. Number 9. One of the most underrated things that stops hair from growing long is a lack of patience. Hair grows at an average rate of half an inch per month, which means in a year, you will only see about 6 inches of growth. For some people, that's even slower due to genetics or health issues. If you are expecting waist-length hair in a year, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Impatience often leads to giving up too soon, cutting it off, or experimenting with damaging styles out of frustration. Long hair is a long-term commitment, and if you're not willing to stake it out and care for it consistently, you will always feel stuck at the same length. Number 10. Another thing that stands in the way is using the wrong shampoo and conditioner altogether. Not all products are created equal, and a lot of store-bought shampoos are packed with sulfates, parabens, and silicones that coat the hair instead of strengthening it. They might make your hair feel smooth in the short run, but in the long run, they suffocate it and lead to weak, limp strands. The wrong products can even throw off your scalp's pH, causing irritation or flakes that further slow growth. Choosing products that truly suits your hair type and needs makes a huge difference. Number 11. Product buildup is another hidden problem lots of people ignore. If you're piling on dry shampoo, styling gels, hairsprays, and heavy oils without properly clarifying, all of that gunk sits on your scalp and blocks your follicles. That slows down new growth and can even make your scalp itchy or inflamed. I recommend using a clarifying shampoo once or twice a month. It resets your scalp and lets your hair breathe again. It is like giving your scalp a deep clean so new growth isn't suffocated under layers of product. Number 12. Lastly, let's talk about diet, because what you eat shows up directly in your hair. Hair is made of protein, and it also relies on vitamins like biotin, vitamin D, iron, and zinc. If your diet is poor or lacking in nutrition, your hair won't have the building blocks it needs to grow long and strong. People often rely on expensive shampoos and oils, but forget that the real foundation of hair growth is nutrition. Skipping meals, eating too much junk food, or lacking enough protein in your diet slows down growth. In fact, even dehydration affects your hair because water keeps the strands elastic and less prone to snapping. Hair is about 1/4 water, and when your body is dehydrated, it prioritizes your organs, not your hair. The result is dry, brittle strands that break before reaching your dream length. I've personally helped a person grow his hair from a buzz cut to a middle part. Watch this video next, where I have shared how I helped Mihane get his perfect hairstyle.